And we're live, mate. How are ya?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
I'm very well. Let me just get some audio going on here.
Yeah.
Fix some of these sounds.
Where are you in India?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice one.
Where are you?
Ah, Melbourne.
In a bunker, in a top secret location.
Yeah, I can't tell you that information.
Yeah. What's been going on with you, mate? What's happening?
Not much, mate. Just went for a surf today. First surf in like nearly 2 years.
I saw that. Looks good.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, really nice. Got myself a new little weddy and beautiful waves. Couple of hours surf. It was great, mate. Good for the soul.
Would have been fresh.
Yeah, I think it was about 14 degrees in the water.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Still got it?
Oh, a little bit shaky, mate.
Yeah, a little bit shaky.
A little bit shaky. Yeah.
I don't have it. I never had it. But there's a bloke that got chomped by a shark up here a couple of weeks ago.
I heard that.
Yeah, and so that's put me off going back out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
But apparently they put it down as a corona death, so it's all right.
That wouldn't surprise me, man.
Yeah, no, I gave him a swab on the beach. But the World Health Organization said you'll be right, and then a week later they came back and said no, you won't, and then the next day they overturned that as well. So yeah. That's why he didn't make it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. What else is happening, Luke?
Not a great deal, man. Just
that's a lie. That's an absolute lie. The whole world's falling to pieces. That's a great deal.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm watching it. I'm as an observer. I'm not trying, not trying to sort of. I would probably lean towards one side more, but I'm just trying to really even observe that leaning.
Yeah. How interesting is it to see the media really losing their shit, really losing their grip and losing their control, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's becoming more and more transparent every single day.
It is, isn't it?
How fake it is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
These very plastic people having very scripted conversations, very strict narrative that they're trying to get across. And the people that they're using, very old scientist-looking kind of experts, they don't look like healthy people to begin with.
Yeah.
Dishing out health advice.
100%.
So it's interesting to see how that all unfolds. Yeah.
And it's just more and more reason at every point to not buy into it, isn't it?
And there's so many other narratives also online as well. I can't keep up, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise on the internet.
There is, man.
There's like the mainstream media, and then there's a narrative that goes against that, and then there's sub narratives that go against the alternative narrative.
Totally, 100%.
And so you can almost it's the matrix rabbit hole of going down and finding the opposite argument of this, and then you think, oh, that sounds about right, and you listen to another person, you're like, oh, they've got a good point too. And so yeah, it's a bit of a I think the word is a fish milkshake.
Like, I just had to think of that for a moment. We're like, yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, pretty fucked.
Yeah.
So should we? Are you covering the can there so you don't not advertising for whoever that brand is?
Yeah, it's kombucha.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to let people know which type of kombucha it is. So I've got to cover that over.
Unless they pay you for the sponsorship, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
What's going on in the Astro world?
Yeah, there's a fair bit going on, mate. We're about what date is it today?
11th, I think.
Yeah, 11th. So on the 21st, on the solstice, there's a really big eclipse. I sort of always look at this point coming up and think, if the first half of 2020 is being like this, as we enter into this eclipse, the next half is going to be next level.
Yeah.
Next level. Next level. Yeah, I think people are going to be freaking the fuck out completely or waking the fuck up.
Or both.
Perhaps both.
Perhaps both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a solar eclipse on the 21st.
There's a solar eclipse on the 21st of June. And then there is a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on the 21st of December. And then there is another eclipse on the 21st of June in 2021. So you can sort of look at that as like the opening, the middle, the apex, and the like the exit sort of period to that point in time. So you have an opportunity at the moment as we head into that to ride through the portal and make it out to the here, or to be caught down. You know?
Yes.
It either takes you down, you either go down with it, or you go through. So this will set the stage for the next 20 years as well.
Right.
So where you are in this time, in this next 12 months, where you are is really how the next 20 years are going to pan out for you.
Oof. No pressure.
No. So you got to go through the portal, right? How do you go through the portal?
So,
you take the middle path. Yeah.
So with us, an eclipse. Which way is that again? Is it the moon's in front of the sun, or the sun's in front of the earth, or I don't know how to say it?
So a solar eclipse is the sun and moon together in the sky in the same zodiac,
right?
The same degree of the zodiac. So it's a conjunction of the sun and the moon. So apparently, from our perspective, the moon will pass between us and the sun and eclipse it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you believe what they tell you.
Where will it be visible? Is it visible from us?
I think it's visible through India, Asia sort of area. Tibet,
Gotcha.
I've heard, in that zone. Yeah, but it will be a total solar eclipse. So there will be a full blackout or a ring of fire in the sky in that area.
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty powerful, super powerful eclipse. And then there's the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius is a huge turning point. And I won't go into the details of that, but just their sort of conjunctions that they do. And this is the first time they're doing them in an air sign for over 250 years. And they're starting a new 250-year cycle. So that's happening in Aquarius. So there's a huge shift there. So these eclipses sort of end that period in time.
Right.
So, and an eclipse has this weird way of panning out over a long period of time. They come in 6-month cycles, 18-year cycles, and 1,200-year cycles. And yeah, the series that these eclipses are happening in are really super duper powerful eclipses.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a portal, man. It's a portal.
Do you care to speculate on how we get through what happens next? Not really.
Once we're through the portal?
No, like what's happening with this year and yeah.
You mean in the Matrix? What's happening in the
Matrix? That's right, the Matrix.
Yeah. So more of the same shit, just 10 times probably worse. More of an opportunity for you to be polarized.
Yeah.
You know? If COVID didn't catch, like you were supercharged at the start of the year with the fires. If COVID didn't catch you, right? Black lives certainly did. So what's the next thing? You know, those that didn't get caught by COVID are now being swept up in that belief about whole black lives.
Yeah.
So they're just going to intensify that and catch more and more and more people. So that each time you just got to still not buy into that because it's a polarization into that. And you got to stand, no, I'm not accepting that as my reality. You know?
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
It's been intense. It feels like to me, I think I said it before, where it's like the earth went into a meditation, like with COVID, like whether or not the powers that be are trying to pull some fuckery and get us all to, lose our jobs and lose our businesses and take over that way. Either way, collectively, we all went in, we all got quiet, we all, settled down and we were isolated and stuck. whenever you do that on a personal level, you go into like a 2-week meditation retreat or yoga retreat, and then these big things come up, and this big dark bubble of racism permeates from out of the collective subconscious, and just fucking ripples across the world. Now, of course, it's been weaponized. Of course, it's been manipulated.
Triggered.
In a way that,
Triggered.
Yeah.
It got triggered. It's probably always there. It just got triggered.
It's absolutely been there for a long time, and so yeah. And I guess to see it come up and the whole kind of the purge that goes on with that. But yeah, there's definitely some dodgy shit going on in regards to who are the players behind Black Lives Matter and Antifa and the media, the way they portray the story, and the real stories about the actual human connection with the soldiers and the cops and people that don't get told by the mainstream media, to try and keep this very polarized narrative leading into an election, trying to use the energy of that to, inspire people to vote a certain way, which is, really sneaky and probably will backfire, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way. To me, there's no good party to vote for. There's no good president to be had, It's just one bad person or another. And they're only one side of a whole spectrum that doesn't get accounted for. And so you're either picking this part of the spectrum or this part of the spectrum and ignore all the rest of it. So the reality of it is that the current situation is that people are choiceless in who they pick as a leader, because they don't really lead anything,
Yeah. One wants to burn down the system, and one wants to resurrect the system. But both don't realize that system is dead.
Yeah.
And we can either choose to burn it down or hang on to it. But what we've got to do is the middle path, and not either of those. We've got to just create the middle. The middle path is to create our own.
Totally. Yeah.
Step out of that paradigm, because that's how you come. That's how you elevate or rise above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I say that's the portal. That's how you go through it, if you can get to that place.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a funky fucking trial of tribulation to get you through it. Yeah. Because you just look like what's happened and the triggers that they've set off, these triggers based on the 6 months astrology for this year. The next 6 months astrology for this year is like, oh shit, that's a walk in the fucking park. So what triggers are they going to use to align with that to just fucking kick it to like another level? Yeah.
Well, this is my pea-brained 2 cents worth. I feel like back in the day, Britain was the main purveyor of worldwide treachery. With taking over indigenous cultures. What's the word that they use? Colonializing. And then they kind of went to war with America, and that kind of handballed the power over to them. There's a little bit of backdoor infiltration in between them two powers still.
Yes.
And then at some point in the 100 years ago, it popped up and Germany was about to take it. And then the bigger destruction operator comes in and kills the other destruction operator and reestablishes itself again, and it's just this power machine that has to keep chomping up other power in order to keep itself alive. And like you said, it's dead already and it hasn't recognized that. And it's furthering its own destruction by trying to hold on to what it was. And
that works as a splitting of that into that duality that we perceive.
Yeah.
You know,
the
gives us
concern,
that paradigm.
the concern with the whole thing, the situation is now that the power has shifted to China.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
and there was Russia that was buying for that power in the the 70s or in the Cold War era, and then there's been other plays at it, and now it's like China has the momentum.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the narrative's going to go next.
Yeah, right.
I think we're going to go into, America. America realizes it's a crackhead and its house is on fire, and it's like, I'm losing everything, so let's take you out with me, or I'm not going down without a fight, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's been interesting because I listened to obviously a lot of Joe Rogan, and he talks about the way the Chinese government is entangled with corporation, and there's a sense of capitalism, but it's not real, because really there's a dictatorship, and really there's the military's entangled into the government, and it's entangled into the corporations. And for me, it's exactly the same as America, except they just don't distinguish it.
Right.
We all know that the corporations are that tight with government. They own the government. They own the process. And we all know that that process is that tight with the military, and the military influences, and the military is full of people that never get elected. So they're just there for their careers. And so America has the same kind of system. It was built on slavery. The dominance, the rise to power was built on the back of slavery. China's the same. The human rights is horrible. What people get paid to manufacture things and all that is not. It would be we would call it slavery if it wasn't convenient.
Yeah.
But it is convenient for us to not just. There's a blind eye to that one. It's like racism's bad, except for if it's Chinese, then we'll kind of deal with it later or something. I don't know. I don't know what the solution for that is, but we definitely don't deal with it. We don't address it. And it's interesting. The Morrison government tried to put a request to have the corona investigated through China, and then China went and shut down all of our exports.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting to see that there's a power struggle going on even between us and China, and that I think with a big solar eclipse and some because there's so much energy in the world right now of frustration and anger, and it's been manipulated all over the shop by powers that be. And it'd be interesting to see if America does try to grab back that power again, as they've done in the past.
So do you think there'll be a war?
I don't. I feel like there could be. There very well could be. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it does fit the astrology.
Yeah.
You've got Mars, the god of war, in its home sign Aries. Right. The archetype of Aries is the warrior. Normally Mars is spending about 6 or 8 weeks or so in a sign. Mars, when it enters into Aries, and that's in late June, I believe, is going to be in Aries for 6 months because of its retrograde this year.
Right.
And in that time, between late June and the end of this year, Mars is going to square Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn 3 times.
I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good.
Right. So if you've got the god of war, the energy of war, right, in a square, which is a tense or challenging aspect which requires change, it actually creates the energy of change. And that square is to Saturn, the planet of structure, form, the patriarch, and it's in Capricorn, which rules all the government, the systems, all of the structures that rule society. You've got those two in the sky that are squaring each other in their home signs, but Saturn's not budging, and neither is Mars. They're both going at it. It's going to be intense. So if there was that power play that's going on from the old, who regains that power structure, then it would make sense that it might happen during that astrological period.
Yeah, it kind of feels and like it kind of feels like that's where it has to go. Just the way the momentum of it is, you know.
Yeah.
Or the other alternative would be civil war in America, but I don't think the people in America are that stupid, you know.
I think they're woken up to the manipulation, a lot of them, and I think we get the perspective we get is a particular narrative, but I think the vast majority of people are like, hang on, there's some bullshit going on here. We're just not hearing their voice.
Yeah. And a lot of, exactly. And a lot of them, exactly what we're not hearing their voice as much as we're hearing the Fox News or
the ones that the minority is what we're hearing really loudly.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that obscures things, but
it's not a good thing either. Like, I don't think war with China is good for anybody.
No, because for any war, it's fought by these people that have empowered or disempowered the people, and it's their wars they're fighting. But who dies? It's people. And when there's a war like that, it's easy for the people to point the finger at the other people and be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And like, fuck the Chinese, right? But it's like, they're just people like we are, fucking living under a oppressed fucking system.
Yeah.
And they're going to be victims of whatever their hierarchy just says, this is what we're doing. They're going to be the victim of that.
Or whatever the governments that we're under dish out to them.
Exactly. 100%. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
But it's but what happens though, when that goes into the collective, you do find people at a less or a more conditioned consciousness will actually act that exact out
and play it out. Yeah.
And play it out. Absolutely. It'll be like, hatred for the people. And it's like, fuck, we're all people.
Yes.
We're not, do we get a choice in what the fuck game that they play?
That's right.
We don't. But we suffer as a result. Whether it's a trade war, a real war, a fucking cold war, or we either suffer through the hatred that it breeds in amongst us, or we suffer through financial losses and gains. Like, we suffer.
Are you familiar with the idea that countries need to sacrifice a certain amount of people to maintain their power? Is that something you're familiar with?
I have heard that notion.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And if you go back and watch all of those sort of, that era, those older sort of Game of Thrones style stuff. There's a one called, what's the one on Netflix at the moment? The Last Kingdom. It's a really good series on Netflix.
Right.
And it depicts what's going on now, but in the sort of medieval times and how it played out. So it would make sense because both back then, they were willing to sacrifice their people to gain whatever they needed to gain. Through war.
Blood sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. So they were quite smart and enlightened people back then. Who's to say that the same people aren't smart and enlightened that are in charge now that are doing exactly the same fucking thing? Yep. And we don't know because we're not their pay cut. Yeah. So maybe that's why, but we have the power because there's more of us. And that's why we need to just, like, the people need to disengage from that. That's what we need to do collectively, not buy into either of that. That's how we disempower that system.
Yeah.
We the people fucking say no. We just no. En masse. And then that's it.
I kind of feel like COVID was a practice run for that.
Yeah, it's prepared people, I guess, and it's woken people up to that fact as well. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Lots of people. COVID woke a lot of people up, definitely.
What's the restrictions where you are? Is it still like gas masks and pretending to be social?
Well, there's still no face-to-face in-person yoga. That's not
Really?
until Monday, I think.
Right.
22nd, actually. Excuse me. So my family are in Queensland. I can't go there.
Mm.
You know, everyone's gone back to school now.
What? Kids are back in school.
Yeah, all the kids are
Right.
back in school now.
What the hell? That's
Yeah.
hilarious. I didn't know that. I thought everyone was still locked down.
Yeah, no.
But you got
All the kids are back at school, but
okay.
you can only have 20 people in it.
Teachers can't get sick then? They're all right?
Yeah, you can only have 20 people in a cafe or a restaurant, or 10 or
Yeah.
20, and you have to put your name and address down.
Really?
If you go and sit down, and anywhere they say, well, if you want to sit down and eat inside, you've got to put your name and address down.
All right.
So I put down John Wick and a false phone number. Whatever. I'm doing that. Oh, okay. And they just like, oh, just doing my job. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just buy it mostly. Fucking funny.
Oh shit.
I fuck with them.
Yeah.
I get in a little bit of trouble, but it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
No, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
Yes. And so like I also feel like there's this there's still you obviously you're aware of the bit where they're like, hey, this corona doesn't spread with asymptomatic people, and then backtracked on that information.
Yeah.
How retarded are they? They just like they can't even get their lives right.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and this is the so-called World Health Organization.
Yeah.
They all look like they're dying.
Yeah.
Firstly, they look sick, and they don't even know what they're talking about. They were like at the beginning. They're like, don't wear masks. It doesn't help. You can't transmit it human to human. Yeah. And then they're like a week later, quick, everyone wear a mask. It's contagious. It stays around on surfaces. And they're like, no, it doesn't stay on surfaces, and it can't be transmitted through asymptomatic carriers. And then the next day they're like, oh, actually, we backtrack on that because it doesn't suit the narrative of we want to vaccinate everybody.
Do you know, I don't know what it's like up there. They've got ads down here on TV and radio about not having sex with anyone that doesn't live in your house because you can pass COVID to one another if you're having multiple partners.
What?
This is an ad on fucking TV or something like that.
This is outrageous.
Yeah. So if you're sleeping around, you're gonna pass the COVID around. Wow. And they put an ad on fucking TV and radio. Just tell people only have sex with someone that is in your house.
They call that STCs.
Yeah. But I can just imagine like all the fucking young fellas living in share houses going, yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah. But, funny. Fucking hell. Like, you got to get to that point where you can just look at it all and just not be affected by it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
Because if you let it affect you, if you emotionally react to it in a negative way, you are contributing to that reality as well.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
I heard you say that the other day. I felt that. Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely are.
Mm.
So if you can't consume it without that happening, you don't consume it.
Mm.
Definitely not, because you are helping create it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a game, man. Like when you can get to that point, it's a game, and if you can continue to see it like that, it just helps. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's entertaining. It actually is entertaining.
But it's not only entertaining, it's also worrying. It's a little concerning.
Yeah. But like, they put reality TV shows like Big Brother and Voice and that type of thing on TV. Mm-hmm. People to go, oh, like it's real, like they're real people. But then I see like that's how I look at what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking funny is this reality? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a reality TV show.
Did you see what they were trying to paint Peter Evans the other day? Did you follow him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the video of Liz Hazen interviewing him for 60 Minutes, and
Yep.
they're trying to find a reason why he's mentally ill that explains his viewpoint.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is so slimy, and, you know, like, we've got to protect the mainstream narrative at all costs. And how can whereabouts was it in your childhood, Pete, that, you know, that something went wrong with you? Because clearly you're not digesting this mainstream narrative. And,
yes.
and it was actually, there's one thing, and it was like, she said, "Oh, you've been vaccinated?" And he said, "Yes, I have a scar to prove it." And she said, "Well, you're still here. Like, that's some kind of proof that vaccines are okay." Could you imagine someone being like, "I was sexually assaulted," and then being like, "Well, you're still here." You know,
right.
Just because you have something bad happen to you when you survive, it doesn't mean that it was a good thing.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was just a strange way to justify vaccinations. You know, "Oh, you're still here."
Yeah.
But
then people will buy into that narrative.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that'll be one that they present out there. People will just adopt that.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I saw, you know, I Googled the Pete Evans, and it comes up with all these like clickbait heading stories about how he's a kook and all this kind of stuff, and doctors commenting on his mental health. He's not even their patient. Who is a doctor? Why is a doctor in the media commenting on another person's mental health who isn't even a patient? And if they were a patient, you've just broken confidentiality.
Yes.
You go into jail, but you're not a patient. So who are you to say, "Oh, you know, I think Pete's mentally ill and he needs some help"? It's like, whoa, you're not allowed to comment on someone else's mental health if they don't ask for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my job.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
Yeah. That's what I do, because I'm unqualified, but he's qualified, so he should know better. Yeah, it's interesting. And like, there's some shit that Pete did say that I was like, well, that's out there. But, you know, the way things are going right now, nothing's off the table, you know? You know, there's a lot of stuff that you probably said to me a year ago, and I was like, nah. Then I'm like, now, like, maybe.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you question fucking everything?
Yeah, that's the point.
Can you get to that level where you can question everything?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because then you can just question everything.
And I guess one of the things that became clear as well in that kind of that space was that you know, a lot of people that aren't questioning anything need the mainstream narrative to stay the same, otherwise their reality falls apart. And that's going to cause them to wake up, and that's why the media is so protective of trying to keep this illusion together.
Yes.
When, you know, just the simple fact that sports stopped, the hypnosis of team sport and getting drunk and watching your team and getting into that lizard brain every weekend has fallen apart, and people have had a chance to sober up from it a bit and be like, "Oh, what else is happening in the world? You know, what else is important?" That's a real kick in the balls to the mainstream of hypnosis and conditioning. You know.
Yeah.
Where they rely on hooking you in and keeping you in that loop, keeping you in their kind of cycle, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think I've said too much. What else is happening?
Don't know, man. Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah. And another thing that completely off topic that I just wanted to talk about, when that police officer murdered that man on the street.
Yes.
It was obviously there's a racial component to it,
yes.
But for me, I wasn't surprised, you know, because you see videos of police killing people all the time, right? Yeah. So it wasn't like a shock, but I was horrified to watch it. You know, it was disgusting. And the real thing, normally you're watching police act angrily and violently against people, brutalizing people. The thing that shocked me in this case was the complete apathy, which he had his hand in his pocket. Yeah. You know, and there was just no care, no concern, just relaxed doing it, you know? And I kind of felt like that was as much as it's a racial thing, it's authority, and it's the average citizen, you know, and it's just I'm weighing on you, and I'm not going to let go, you know, and it's a complete disempowerment, and a symbol of that complete disempowerment, where there's good people standing around, unable to enact against the system that is so deeply entrenched in their corruption and you know, rot, just complete rot, you know. And so it's kind of symbolizes on one level that there's these power structures that have been put in place that have turned bad, and that it's very difficult to change them or to push up against them. And because if obviously, you know, the heroic thing that would have been done, and I hear people say this, and I'd like to think it of myself, but it's probably not true if I'm being honest, that if I was there, I would have helped. I would have stepped in. I would have, you know, fly kicked the police officer. It's the thing that you'd like to think that you'd have the courage to do. But when it comes down to it, if you knew what it's like to be in America, if you knew what police are like with guns, you're probably definitely not going to go and do anything for a stranger. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like there's good people that knew better. They're there saying, stop it. You're hurting this man. You're killing him. Yeah. And they were powerless to prevent that from happening. And I feel like it symbolizes many other instances in our society where we know better and the power structures don't give a fuck and do whatever they're going to do anyway. Yeah. You know? And it might not be to that degree where they're literally murdering someone in broad daylight, executing someone on the street, but things like, you know, where companies are going in and excavating sacred Aboriginal sites, or they're going in and mining for profit, killing the farming land and poisoning water and stealing water and corrupting. And there's people that know better, people that are like, we need to stop this, that can't, they're butting up against those systems. And it kind of, as you know, as well as all the other issues that symbolizes the hand in the pocket attitude of we're doing what we're going to do, you know, no matter what. Yeah. So that was like, yeah. And,
yeah, that's deep, man.
Yeah. And with, you know, also with that, even the solution to that with, you know, Black Lives Matter, obviously there's an upsurge of anger, you know. I don't think there'd be many people that would watch that video, doesn't matter what color your skin is, and not be angry and not be horrified and sickened and upset by watching a man kill a man in broad daylight, you know, on the street. And so, and then, you know, then it gets politicized and polarized and mediarized and turns into something else. And constantly, I think it's not a popular opinion, but that we go for, you know, trying to get power back by taking power from the power instead of finding unity. And, you know, in some instances, there's a unity coming together from this, but from my opinion, you know, we need to have a march or a gathering where we're saying, doesn't matter what color you are. We're not talking about color. If we want to transcend the racism, we have to come together in our humanity. Because if we're just protesting on Black Lives Matter and this and that, that's not enough. We need to go further than that, you know, because you're more than black. You're more than just the color of your skin. Yes. You're a human being. You're a fucking soul. Yes. And we're stopping at this kind of like here where we need to go all the way. So because most people I believe are on board with that, but less than most people are going to be getting behind something that they don't feel represents who they are as well, you know? It doesn't include them. So, you know, if the problem is corrupt police, you need to get the police on your side so that the good police can out these people and can create a culture. And, you know, this is a huge conversation, and obviously there's lots of nuance and there's so much more to it than that. But I really feel like.
So do you think that the George Floyd murder was a real murder? It really happened. He did die, and the
Yeah.
cop did do that? Or do you think that they just chose that as an archetype to trigger that
Mhm.
element within people?
I feel like it was real, and uh, it was it happened in the way that it came up. It's like watching. It's like your shadow coming to the surface. You know, that the darkness of what institutionalized racism and abuse of power is to be seen for exactly what it is. Because there was no kind of, oh, maybe it was his fault because he was fighting back or doing something wrong, so the officer had to use something in order to restrain him. It was just straight murder. There's no guessing about what happened, you know.
Yeah, it was murder. What we saw was
Mm-hmm.
murder, but
Yeah.
was it an actual murder, or was it people depicting a murder?
But what happens to the guy that they killed if he didn't die?
Do you know him?
What? Do I know him? Of
Do
course I
you know
don't
him?
know him. No.
So how does what if he's a paid dude to do that?
Well, I didn't even consider that.
Right.
You've gone too deep on me now, Luke.
No, because this is the thing. we're coming at this we're coming at this from different perspectives.
Yes, correct.
Yep.
Mm.
You know, there are people in positions of power and hierarchy in this world
Mm.
that create the reality for those below them.
Mm.
And it's quite possible through occult knowledge and symbolic knowledge that you could activate those people below you by what you program them with
Mm.
in different ways to do exactly what you want.
Mm.
Because whilst we are
But so to be clear, he's in that sense he still died, or it's a play,
to play,
right? And no one died.
no,
No.
no, they're acting they're acting the archetype out
Mm.
to trigger that part of nature
Mm-hmm.
in a way, if you want to look at it like that. So we have to, you know, awaken to that and not buy into their programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an interesting perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't go to this. This is like my own research into the events,
Mm-hmm.
plus what they're portraying the events and what's come out of that, plus my occult knowledge that I have. It's like, okay, right, that's what they're doing.
Mm.
You know?
I had considered that maybe the dude was programmed to do that.
Like MK Ultra style.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, and that he actually did it, but it's because he didn't have a choice because
But
he was
are you
programmed.
talking about the copper or the guy that died?
The copper.
Okay, so the copper's he's been at Sandy Hook, I think the Boston bombing. He's here. He's also got a page online that he's what they call a crisis actor.
Mm.
He's been in stuff online that you can see him playing in movie roles. George Floyd, the real George Floyd, had a big tattoo across his chest, and when they show in that picture the guy that was getting handcuffed and turned away from the wall, he didn't have a tattoo at all on him. Then there's the occult level, which I won't go into, but it's just, yeah. When you look past the veil, you see those things, but when the veil, the illusion catches you,
Yes.
you cannot see beyond it.
Mm.
So that's what I'm trying to say is like that's being manipulated to keep us vibrationally in that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so, but it's still that it's not like there isn't racism though.
100%.
Yeah. So
100%. Because that's part of the nature.
yeah.
You know?
So yeah. So
but it's part of the nature at that level of consciousness.
yeah. But
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
it is. It's part of nature at that level of consciousness.
Yes. So to be racist is a part of nature at that level of consciousness. Yes. When you
Mm.
don't know yourself, if you don't know that everything's one thing and that everything that you hate is also what you hate about yourself,
Yeah.
then if you're racist, then you're just hating yourself. That's that in that state of consciousness. I actually was going to speak about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not something that people would be readily willing to admit, to
No.
reflect upon their own history of having prejudice against people or perspectives. But it's something that I'm not worried about what people think about that, because it shows evolution, shows my own progression to be like, oh, I believe this story about this certain group of people because I was fed it by a media and I was fed a whole bunch of bullshit in order to get my political view to be one way or the other, and to polarize my opinion, and for the same reason to feed into that energy and to keep that reality, and I use the example of refugees of like, the refugees are going to take your jobs and they're coming here by the boatload and they're the problem and all this kind of stuff, and and you buy into that perspective, and then that becomes a part of your belief system or whatever. Until you awaken to that and be like, hang on, that's actual bullshit. These people are human beings. They're throwing their kids on a tiny little shitbox dinghy and going across the ocean. How desperate would you need to be to do that? And you feel the empathy for them, and then you realize, and you meet them, and then you're like, oh, you're just people. We're all people. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I understand the perspective of, that race, like the thing that gets done in the mainstream, especially on social media, is you try and find a racist and destroy the person, because that's what you do with racists, right? As opposed to understanding all that's happening is there. And there's a fine line between that's all that's happening if they don't have power over you. When you have power over someone, it becomes a different thing. But in a context of a random stranger having a prejudiced view against you, if they don't have power over you, that's on them. They're a dickhead, and they're the one missing out. They're the one that's kept themselves in their own small-mindedness and their own insecurities, and they're suffering that already. They don't need someone to go and tell them that they're doing the wrong thing. They're already suffering. The karma already is playing out within them.
Totally.
But where someone has power over you, say if your boss is racist, then obviously that's a different level of power over somebody, and it's going to have a different effect. It's not just in them. There's something that needs to change in that dynamic, and people need to be educated. But still, it's not that you can destroy a racist, because most of the time, if you push back against someone's core beliefs or their subconscious beliefs, you're going to strengthen them. Which is an interesting thing to work out in the mechanics of what it is. And it's not that I'm sitting here saying, don't tell racists not to be racist because they won't understand, but they won't. But, but of course, everyone's going to go about that process of trying to out people and to expose, the badness or, the evil. But really, it comes down to knowing the consciousness state, being awakened to know that you're not just your little body and your whatever color of skin you are, and you are also all of the other beings here as well. But still, going back.
I was just going to say, but when they bring you down to that level through this programming, you know what I mean? Like, fuck. Sorry.
See, it's tough. It's tough because it's tough. Like, you said, we're coming at it from different perspectives, and it can be hard to hold both these perspectives together. Because they don't, I guess I'm looking at it from spiritual.
Right, just cut out. I lost you, man. Can't hear you. You there, mate?
Oh, we're back.
Hey, I don't know if it's your end or my end.
I think it says my connection's unstable, so it must be me. Yeah, the government's trying to shut me down, Luke.
You say your position's unstable, no.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What I'm seeing is, that whether it's in America or whether it's here, you have the very real reality of underlying racism that exists in our culture, and it comes to the surface. Why does it come to the surface? As with all spiritual work, it comes to the surface to be purified, to be seen, and when it's seen, that's how it gets healed.
Yeah.
And we listen and we heal and we communicate with each other and we talk, and this is how things get brought to resolution.
Purified, purged.
But in that process, there's still the other side of the people pulling strings behind the scenes that will seek to use whatever happens for their own story, for their own narrative, for their own kind of way that they direct what reality is as well. So I agree with that. There's both things going on at the same time, and I'm cautious to say that George Floyd is still alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to break that paradigm.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I'm open to it. I'm open to it, but
yeah.
Oh
man, I've been doing this shit for so long that it's just like,
ask me again in 6 months. I probably
right. We'll do another body and figure it out. You did say before that was what happened. Yeah.
And whatever happened to Epstein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a bit of a distraction, wasn't it? The whole COVID thing.
100%.
They need to investigate this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of the famous political people that flew with him to his little island.
Yeah, exactly. All of the ones right now that are pushing a certain particular narrative.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And the fact that the autopsy guy said that he didn't die of hanging himself.
Yeah.
He said it was inconsistent with hanging. It's like, what the fuck? And then silence. Complete silence. Media silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see a thing the other day. They were going to get Prince Andrew, or they said they want him in the US for questioning over the Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that. No, I tend to avoid the media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter or something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. Been keeping track of aliens?
When I went into this conspiracy stuff, I just never went into the aliens.
Right. There's still time, right?
I just never went there.
Yeah, right. Have you watched the Unacknowledged yet?
The what?
Unacknowledged is called. It's a movie on Netflix.
Right. No.
Yeah. It's about the aliens. It's a must watch for a conspiracy theory. I think it was mostly full of shit. But there was some interesting concepts in there. He kind of covered every angle. So it's like if I throw out 8 angles, one of them might come true.
Right.
Yeah. But a lot of it, the basic underlying theme of it at one point was that the government is going to try to fake an alien invasion in order to establish the one world government.
Right.
And that they built the crafts and they were kind of working out, when to strike.
Yeah.
To create this kind of, we're going to war with the aliens.
Or maybe a unification.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look, we're not alone.
Yeah.
Or, this is where we're from or whatever.
Yeah. We need to come together to fight the bad guys.
Yeah.
And therefore, we need all the resources, and everyone just has to like lock down. And
this is why we need to like be exact and dob on your neighbor and fucking get the vaccine. And here's where the chip. It's got to be for this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then swoops them all up.
That's right.
Mm.
One government.
No government.
No government.
No government. Not New World Order.
No.
Not one world government. Not fucking Trump. Not any of that shit. No government. It's fucking stupid and fucked.
Yeah.
We should be able to rule ourselves.
Yeah.
And while we can't and we allow them to do it, we're stuck under their rule.
Yeah.
And they are fucking, they're powerful because they have power over you, and they can create your reality for you.
Which they have been doing for a while, haven't they?
It's a fucking brilliant system. But it's a system that's fucked. It's dead. It's dying.
It's dead.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's just, this is what it looks like when it is. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking, it's like the octopus that's fucking, it's finally got harpooned and all, like, it's fucking lit, and it's, the big fucking monster or whatever.
Yeah.
And these are the fucking, and these are the fucking thing's dead. It's harpooned in the head, right? It's out. But these are the fucking, this is what it does before it dies.
Oh, yeah. The nerves.
And that's COVID. That's Black Lives. That's fucking like, you know what I mean? It's going out in a bang. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you hang on to one of those tentacles, where the fuck are you going to end up?
Yeah, flicked over the fence.
Or down with the fucking dead octopus.
Yeah, that's right.
Into another cycle of that.
Octopus.
Reality.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
Isn't it interesting, Luke, that the construction industry didn't stop for the whole of COVID, and yet they're going to get all the funding for the stimulus. It will stimulate the economy by giving all the money to the one construction industry that didn't stop for the whole time.
Exactly.
All the small businesses and restaurants just whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh shit! I had some really intelligent thing to talk about, and I completely forgot. So that's good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We're not doing intelligence, man. Intelligence is I said this to someone the other day. Intelligence is a hindrance to enlightenment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
When you think you're smart.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. When you think you know, you just got to go, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. What else was there?
I can't remember.
Hang on. We had some requests.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. An approach to these times and how to guide kids through it. That's an interesting question for you. What do you tell your kids about this time?
You tell them that it's just a game that they're playing. And yeah, isn't it funny to watch people play that game? And you just watch people playing that game. Yeah, make it a game.
Cool.
I reckon.
Staying grounded in the midst of darkness and deceit that's coming to the surface.
Staying grounded.
Yeah.
Really, the ultimate grounding would be to turn everything off. That would be the ultimate grounding you could do. Yeah, you go and walk in barefoot in nature and I can ground. You want to really ground through this period in time and turn your social media, your mainstream media, turn every single thing off. That would be the most grounding thing you could do.
How would you know what to freak out about?
You wouldn't freak out.
Yeah, I got
you. Freak out.
Oh, wait, you mean if I turn it off, it stops?
If you freak out, you're freaking out over one of those tentacles.
Yeah.
So if you don't like a dying octopus, don't fucking watch it. It's really simple. Go about your day. Just
yeah. Just I got another one that says aliens and the bad ones that control the world.
Look, I think for me, aliens is entities.
Yes.
And
agreed. David Icke cops a lot of shit for saying this.
Does he?
Yeah, he talks about the lizard people. You're talking about that's the same thing, right? The people where they have the eyes and they get the entities come through them in different dimensions. Yeah,
absolutely.
Interdimensional entities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lost my train of thought now. Thanks.
Instead of aliens, it's entities.
Exactly. Instead of aliens, it's entities. So the ones that they portray, like it's come from some other planet, and they've actually materialized them in the play that plays out in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably just symbolically telling you that they're entities. They're always around. Some of them are in you sometimes they're not. Some of them are your ancestors. Some of them are fucking just disembodied souls. Some of them are fucking gods. Some of them are fucking demons. Some of them are like there's just entities, you know, and they exist and they always have, and we're always here. And yeah,
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
So do you think
spiritual beings also?
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be bad.
That's right. And like even ideas are almost entities. You know, you get a good idea, it's like I got a good entity.
Yeah, well, it becomes a thought form. It's a form of thought. When you've got a good idea, you can't not see a good idea. A good idea is something you can see. Do you know what I mean? If you've got an idea, but you can't see it, you haven't got a good idea. And that good idea becomes a thought form, or it becomes an entity. An energetic entity for you to bring about that idea materially. Yeah. So that's another form of entity.
So this is my question.
People might not be ready for this. They might be like, what is he talking about? But
I think we're ready for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll know if this gets banned or...
Should we do a disclaimer and say that if... should we do this disclaimer now and be like, if you don't want to listen to two white guys talk about all this stuff, don't listen.
Yeah, about now's a good time to do that.
All right. This one could get weird. Sharon Hoffman wants us to talk about sex.
Right.
Yeah. Might park that.
What did you say?
What?
What did you say, sorry?
I said we might park that.
Park it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the latest on 5G from your end? Apparently we can't say that, otherwise we get kicked off YouTube.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
$5 grand. $5 grand.
$5 grand. For me, it makes practical sense.
Mm-hmm.
The argument. I'm like, but I also don't know enough about it to say whether it's 100% bad or it's just, it could be fucking bad, but it could be also fucking really good. So I don't know enough, and hasn't apart from what's happening on the social side of things, which is on the internet land. Yeah, I don't know what its impact is. I haven't seen its impact. It's just speculation on what its impact could be. Based on science and all that stuff, which I don't comprehend as much. So I'm thinking, I don't know, like, fuck. I did watch the last Star Wars movie, and I've made this comment before.
This is the Rise of Skywalker, right?
The Rise of Skywalker. And
this is the only one I've ever watched, and I spent the whole movie waiting for Skywalker, not realizing that the chick was Skywalker.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was Luke Skywalker. I'm like, where's Luke? The whole movie, I'm like, is Luke going to come? Didn't happen. Yeah. You're a bit slow on the uptake there. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you watch The Last of Nine. It was. As the first movie. Yeah. But in that,
they do have where the rebellion or the empire, or not the empire, the resistance are fighting back.
Yes.
They do basically say that the way that they're going to defeat,
Oh, they go wipe out the towers.
they're going to wipe out the communication towers. So the little planes go in, or whatever the star things they are, to go in and take out these communication towers on the first or the final order's fleet, and they look exactly like 5G towers.
I remember.
So they look exactly like 5G towers. Wow. So I'm like, oh, they're sort of telling you in that movie that that's one of the ways you can defeat the fucking empire.
Right.
Turn their fucking communication shit off.
Turn
their fucking shit off.
I get it.
We can all turn their shit off.
Yeah.
Right? It's their shit that's pumping through that. And if they go 5G, they can it's like there's no more television or that's 5G. You don't need anything but 5 fucking G, and someone can control that. Then everything that comes through is going to be somehow fucking possibly manipulated. So it's like, you know, they're showing us like that's one of the ways you can defeat this fucking system is to fucking take out their ability to communicate.
I like it.
And in that movie, on the ships, when they go, they fucking look like 5G towers. So I
remember clearly. Yeah, I remember clearly.
So for me, it's like I see all the 5G people and all the hype and all of that. I don't know enough about the scientific data and all that. I also have heard that there is a possibility it can be used without harm. Then I've seen the Star Wars thing, so I'm sort of like, you know?
Yeah.
I'm more leaning towards the 5G people. But maybe it's not like, let's stop it. Let's just go and take it out.
Yeah, I get it too. If you're like, maybe that's not the actual 5G itself that's the problem. It's what's coming through the 5G.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. That's just their medium that they're going to use. You know, we go to 5G, it's going to be centralized. You know, a lot more control through that.
Yeah.
Right. How's that going to work? Like, we're still going to have phone companies.
Yeah. You see Elon Musk?
Yeah.
He wants to chip people's heads.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like, no vaccine, Bill Gates, but Elon, sign me up for a chip.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's cool.
I troll him on Twitter about the flat Earth. I do. I troll him on Twitter about the flat Earth with his fake space shit. I give him shit about it. I mean, he's got fucking how many million people following him. Like, he's not going to read my comment, but I still troll him.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck off, dickhead, with that fake shit. There was when he launched that fucking rocket just recently, there's footage of it at a certain point that they showed on mainstream media, and there's a fucking mouse crawling on one of the jets.
A mouse?
There's a mouse crawling over one of the jets in the actual footage. It's like a rat. And we're in the year of the fucking rat. So Elon's just sort of saying, fuck, you are so fucking dumb. How much money can I get from the government to perpetuate their story about space? I'm going to fucking tell you how dumb you are. I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to put a rat there. And you're so fucking dumb, you're still going to buy that shit. That's what Elon's doing. That's what he thinks. So I get on there and I give him shit. I'm like, man, you're fucking faking this shit. It's flat, you fucking dickhead. You're a fraud and a fake, just like fucking NASA. You're a scammer and you're pulling the fucking taxpayers' money from the fucking government to do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, I give him shit.
I'm glad I asked about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's paid by the fucking government.
Yeah.
He's like he's got some ridiculous, huge contracts for satellite fucking, you know, whatever, communications and shit. Of course he's going to fucking push the story of fake space and rub it in your face. He's fucking loaded, man. Yeah. I get a little bit fucking... I'm sure he doesn't read my fucking comments.
Who knows? He might.
But other people do, eh? Like, I get haters then. So I get all the people that are buying that narrative and they jump on, oh, you're a fuckwit. Like, seriously, as if. And then I just fucking talk shit to them.
Yeah,
Just for fun. That's what I do for entertainment.
of course.
Yeah. Elon with his chip in your head.
Yeah.
He's got one side like, way, no, exactly like, no vaccines. And then,
Yeah.
How cool is Elon? Like, he's so cool. He
I'll get
put Tesla in space.
a chip in my head. It's an inch out of your skull. I'll take an inch out of your skull and put a chip and wires into your brain, and then put like a little bit of putty on there, and then you're apparently supposed to be 10 times more bandwidth in your brain. Who wants that? Who wants that? You want less thoughts, not more.
Yeah, so I see that potentially, like, if we don't like end this fucking regime and this government, like, that's a reality.
Yeah.
They're gonna just convince you that the best way to fucking stay like in the trend is to put something in your head that we can control.
Yeah, basically that's what it is.
You're gonna go, yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be put this in your head. You're gonna be 10 times smarter, and everyone's gonna go, oh yeah, and then they're gonna do it, and then everyone's gonna be wired up to this network.
Who the fuck controls that shit? That chip?
It's literally called NeuroNet. It's literally called that. That's not a fucking joke. NeuroNet to catch all the stupid fish.
There's another level of like, are you going to awaken to that bullshit?
Yeah.
No, not fucking buying into that either.
And then Elon's like this, and eventually we won't have to talk. We won't have to talk anymore. Yeah. The fuck? That's all right because you're autistic, so no one cares. But other people like to communicate.
Absolutely, man.
Fuck. Yeah. He doesn't like if it was beneficial, if being super smart made you super happy, we'd be signing up. But to me, it's like you don't look that happy anyway.
Yeah.
So why do I want to be 10 times more smart so I can realize how 10 times more fucked up the world is?
Yeah, true.
I'd rather be a little bit dumber than that and just be like, oh, things might be okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to have the capacity to hold the knowledge of how actually bad the world is.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Mm.
Just jokes. It's lovely. I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
I've heard some people that have been out in it before and they reckoned it was good.
Been out in the world.
Yeah, in the world. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, by all reports, it's something. It's good. So yeah, I saw a video. I'm not sure if it was a troll video, but it was a guy, a lady interviewing a doctor kind of dude from Epstein or something like that in America, who was getting paid bazillions of dollars to develop this quick injection of vaccines, and he was talking about the microchip in the video. Have you seen that video?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah,
someone's mentioned it in one of those chat rooms or something like that. You know.
But it's only got the barcode of the vaccine in the chip. Nothing else. No personal information. It's only so we can tell if you've had the right dose and you know.
Yeah, exactly.
What nonsense! I don't even know if it's a real video. It looks too stupid to be real, but it might be because that's how stupid the world's gone. So who knows?
Well, I like a lot of that. That other stuff we're talking about. A lot of that, when you look at it from a different lens, it's like it's obviously staged. You know.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, that's the that's the way they're doing it.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Not really, man. I mean,
let me just you give us a little outro monologue and I'll Google the news and see if anything else pops up.
Yeah, right. Look, the next 12 months, in particular the next 6, if you're going to continually buy into what's happening and the way it's being portrayed, it's going to be a very turbulent period of time, especially, like I said before, if you're going to latch on to one of those tentacles. And they're throwing them all out. So we're here already with 6 months to go. With that astrology coming, it's like, okay, all bets are off now. So, like I said, switch off or just digest without it making you react, from that place, that lower place, pulling you down into anger, desire, greed, frustration, all those low fucking vibrational frequencies that operate down here.
Mm-hmm.
If what you're seeing and you perceive it, it activates that area, then you need to not see it. Mm-hmm. If you're able to digest that and it doesn't activate that part of your body and you can still process it, then punch on through the wormhole.
Punch on through the wormhole.
Yeah.
I like that.
Otherwise, turn the shit off.
That might be the name of this episode. Punch on through the wormhole.
Nice. Otherwise, turn the shit off, man.
Oh, here we go. The news.
Go for a surf or go for a walk in nature or go and smell a flower. You know, it wouldn't hurt to smoke a little herb. Just fucking just turn it off.
Kick back and relax. I got on the mushrooms last weekend, which was good. Yeah.
How's that?
That was very interesting. Sometimes you can go into a deep place and you can feel like you're in your soul. Other times I feel like I went right into my body. I went right into my like pre-cognition, like very primal, like very right. like that. Like I was inside the, what's it called? Avatar. That wasn't me. It was just the avatar, the plane thing. I dropped into that and I was just like, oh, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then I was just like doing some weird breathing and letting go of some like ancient stress and fatigue in my body, just like yawning for like an hour.
Yeah,
just
right.
Letting go. It was good.
Yeah, sweet.
Full moon, ceremony, drumming, guitar, beautiful. Loved it.
Yeah, sweet, man.
Here we go. You want to know the news?
Mm.
We're already drumming up the fear. The media's already at it. China warns Australia will pay an unbearable price if it sides with US in new Cold War. Mm.
Yeah.
So we're already steering the narrative to create that enemy. Yeah. But there we go. Tons of bitches.
Yeah. Oh, what did I see? Something else.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think we should just eject. We should just say, look, China, your human rights is horrible. We're gonna take a hit by disconnecting from you. It's gonna be we're gonna lose billions of dollars in industry, but we need to be self-sufficient. So we'll just do it quickly. We'll do it now.
Yep.
Leave China alone. Come back. We'll look after ourselves.
Totally. 100%.
We'll pay $400 for a T-shirt, and we'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fucking oath, man.
That's it.
100%.
That's the new way. It's more local, more sustainable self-sufficiency.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is no border, even though that's, do you know what I mean? There's still no borders. Fucking, that's the thing. You get to that state where you can be like that, but still there's no animosity.
Yes.
Towards anyone.
That's right. Yes.
Like, it's not like saying to China, no, like, we're cool, we're doing it on our own, like, or like, fuck you, China, you're shit, China. We don't have to go it from that angle. We don't have to be like, calling them out and be like, fucking this division and like tension, and we never, it's like, no, cool, like, we're just going to do it this way.
Yeah.
You guys, we're cool. You do what you do, your thing.
We'll look after ourselves. Although Western Australia will become Eastern China because they're on board, but that's fine.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll have to put some things in place to stop WA from divorcing us, and then we'll be right. Because otherwise they're going to have no one to sell all of the WA to, because that's where they sell it to. If soon we're going to sell so much of WA, that's this part over here, that Australia's going to get lopsided.
Yeah.
And WA is going to be floating up in the air. Because it's sold so much of it. I wonder if that's a thing. If the flat Earth can be off balance by transporting too much of it to a different part of the flat Earth.
Yeah.
And tip the whole flat Earth over, Luke. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's highly probable, man. Yeah. Symbolically, for sure.
Symbolically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Crazy times, man.
It is, man. It can be whatever times. Let's look at it like this. It can be whatever times you see it as.
Yes.
You can see it as crazy times. You can see it as depressing times. You can see it as difficult times. You can see it as fun times. You can see it as party times. You can see it as entertainment time. You can choose how you see it.
Yes.
That's the power that we have. That's what you need to ride through this wormhole. Is the power to you to choose. You see how you see it. It doesn't have to be any fucking way that they see that we should see it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right. And you know what I reckon we should do? We should do like a meal deal, a combo package. Learn to meditate and get your birth chart read.
Yeah,
That's
sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
lock it up.
Yeah, if you're into that, get in contact and we'll do a combo.
That sounds cool, man.
Beautiful.
All right, bud.
All right, mate. It's been fun to chat. I hope you haven't said anything too outrageous. I know I didn't.
You know, I can't remember.
I don't remember either. That Men in Black amnesia device.
Thanks, man.
Man, awesome. Good to
All right.
chat.
Cheers, buddy.